We are really getting wound down here, coming close to the finish line. One of the two last things that you need to do is to write the executive summary about your project, about your business plan. It's a short bit of writing, but it absolutely needs to be your best writing. I can tell you from experience as a former banker that when people brought in business plans to me, I read I read the executive summary, flipped through all the other stuff, and looked at the financials. Only then, if it made sense, would I go back and read the rest of the plan. So it's extremely important that this part is well written. And it's just a summary of all the parts of your particular plan. Let's take a look here. I got a little slideshow, just not much, but just more reminders for me. But persuasive summary, right, of all the major elements of the plan. Okay, so you've got your marketing, your management and organization, the description of the business, and the financials then obviously, and that's kind of it, right? Break it down here, right? The company. This may well be, you may want to show this on the title page. That's fine. That might be kind of separate then, for at least the name, address, and that kind of stuff on the title page. And you might want to show the mission statement even on the title page. That's fine. But then you want to start on the introduction or the first paragraph of your executive summary. Tell us a little bit about the company. What you're going to do, manufacture, retail, whatever the case may be. Give us your mission statement again. Okay. Opportunity, products, and markets. So we're talking about a summary of your marketing section, right? A summary of your management and organization section, the business description. A sales and profit summary. You want to take a look at that. That might want to include the break-even point. I like break-even points. I think it could very well show up in the executive summary. What your funding requirement is, and then the investment proposal, what you're asking, right? Everybody, I asked you all to have some level of debt or other investors and so what are you asking from those lenders or other investors as we go forward, or as you go forward? So the company, right? Name, address, contact information, the full legal name, and the DBA are doing business as. Sometimes a corporation name will be different than the bank name. The bank name, business name. I'm sorry. The bank I used to work at, Independence Bank, the actual corporate entity that owns that's called Montana Security Inc. So you've got a Montana Security Inc. doing business as Independence Bank, and other places can certainly have that. You may well have the same name, and that's fine. And then the brief kind of business description, mostly in this case, what you do, right? And then the mission statement can be very important. Again, if you've written a good one, please put it in there, highlight it, whatever. Marketing, right? What's your strategy? Focus on strategy. That's always important. The target markets or target segments, that you're going after are going to be important. The tactics that you plan to use, and then maybe briefly mention, the competition. For your executive summary, you only got 2 pages. Okay, it shouldn't be any more than 2 pages, and it shouldn't be much less than 2 pages. So, although sometimes it's better to write a bunch and then pare it down afterwards. Okay. So in the management, right, you've given us your organizational structure and whatnot throughout, but you should definitely include the main qualifications of the managers, owners / managers, right? Tell us what your main qualifications are, why you're going to be good at this. And then the financial summary can focus on maybe some of these things, sales, the profits that you're projecting, again, break-even point I have down here, growth potential, and you might even talk about if you plan to add some things in the future, expand the business in the future. Needed funds, okay? Put that in there. This is what we need from you. This amount of money to borrow, this amount of money that we expect you to invest with us. This is what you're going to get maybe for it, interest rate, if it's a loan over X number of years. Okay, this is what will give investors an interest in the company. And then lastly, you got to close the deal, right? You got to ask for that particular investment, be it a loan or be it a loan. And you do that right there in your executive summary. And that's really it. Sounds short, sounds easy. This should be the most difficult thing to write, not lengthwise necessarily, but in terms of, boy, make sure you reread it. Make sure that you've cleaned up all the spelling, grammar, punctuation, any types of errors that might be in there. Have somebody else read it. Have a third person read it. Okay, have them go through and have them make suggestions and whatnot, so that you're making your best impression right here in the executive summary. Okay. After this, the last couple things that we'll talk about is how you put your full plan together. You're going to need a table of contents and those types of things, and then the presentation. And I'll probably talk about that a little more thoroughly next week. That's it. Pretty simple there.